guys, Tim the Toolman Cook back here with another ToolTime tool review. How many times can I say tool? Hey guys, Tim the Toolman Cook back here with another ToolTime tool review. And I've got a good one for you this week. We are going to do the Dewalt battery powered 20 volt second generation weed trimmer. And I gotta tell you, I love this thing. So first off, a little backstory. I went to the city a couple of weeks ago. My kids moved into a new house up there. Didn't realize that their backyard was quite as overgrown as it was. Didn't bring any tools with me because I thought it was going to be a vacation. So I ran down to Dewalt to pick up some Roundup, and I came home with a hedge trimmer and a weed trimmer. And you know what? My wife was excited, so I didn't get on the list. Anyway, let's put it that way. So I've been looking at both these for a while. We got a few more reviews in the pipeline. We got a Dewalt handheld hedge trimmer coming up. We got a Karcher surface cleaner for a pressure washer. We got a security system that I bought on Amazon coming up as well. Anyway, let's get back at it. So did I mention I love this thing? It's incredible. I watched some reviews early on because the first generation was not very good. They've changed a few things. I just want to touch on the two main things that you should look for if you're looking at buying one of these, because the first generation ones are still kicking around on clearance at Home Depot and different places, but don't waste your money on those. Two things. First, this guy right here has got the quick load head and feed system. This is even faster than my Stihl. I've been using the low end $150 Stihls just because that's what we've always had. We go through one or two of them a summer, and I can load this in about 2/3 the time it takes me to load the Stihl. Love it. And the other thing you're going to look for right here, this nice snap pull down clamp system for locking it into place. The old one had just this little chintzy round shaft, and the videos I watched when they would weed whip, this whole joint would flop up and down a bit. Not a good idea. This one, not a bit of movement. Anyway, so I bought just the bare tool. We get them in Canada, but they come in the States too. If you've already got enough batteries, go with the bare tool. I love this. So yeah, this is the box that it comes in. Obviously quite a bit shorter than the weed whipper itself. Real quick, it's got a little safety latch release. Pull that up like that, and you are good to go. Throw that in the back of the truck. Throw it in your back seat if you're just starting out doing a side hustle, but nothing wrong with this at all. So let's go with a few of the cons first, because I've already bragged it up so much. It's a little unbalanced, nothing serious, nothing you wouldn't get used to. I find holding my elbow up on top kind of balances out the weight of the battery, but the real weight is in the head because it's brushless, of course, which I forgot to mention. So the motor's way down here, which is totally okay. You got some air vents you need to clean once in a while. It just makes it a little unbalanced. Nothing serious, just thought I'd throw that out there. This is where the battery goes in, right here. Big area. But the biggest problem with it, and I'm sure they'll change that in the third generation, when you slide the battery in, the gauge is hidden inside. So there's no way to know how much juice you got left in your battery without taking the battery out. I know it's something small. For the record, again, this is the con side of things, but I was able to do 11 lawns. We do 12 lawns once a week, push mowing, weed whipping, and blowing off. And I was able to do 11 of these on a fully charged 5 amp hour battery before I had to swap out. So no problem there, just something to mention. I would say, unless I'm doing something incredibly wrong, and I don't think I am because I've watched some videos, read the manual, the biggest con to this guy is it seems to go through string quite a bit quicker than my Stihl ones or other ones I've used. It doesn't seem to have a mechanism inside to hold the string completely, to lock it into place. It always seems like it wants to feed out a little bit, so you're always losing an inch here and an inch there. I seem to go through it about 2/3 as fast as I do the Stihl, or the Stihl goes through it about 2/3 as much as the Dewalt does. So for what it's worth, honestly, if you're just doing some backyard trimming or you have 4 or 5 lawns you got to do, not a problem. But I mean, if you're doing hours of weed whipping, it's going to add up over time. one other thing I noticed real early on, only had this problem once, but the bump head is hard plastic. Not a big deal, it just, I'm used to more of a softer, rubbery plastic that you can be a little harder on the ground. I found myself trying not to hit the ground because it jarred so much and I was worried I was going to break the head. I never did, but early on, especially when I used it at my kid's place, I knocked the head assembly off once completely. Now, I might not have had it completely in place, but for what it's worth, it happened. Put it all back together and I was good to go. It hasn't happened again, so maybe it was just being a little crooked or something, but that hard plastic head, it feels weird when it hits the ground. You're always worried you're going to scuff it up or hurt it or anything. One other thing that I noticed, nothing real serious, but there's just ever so slightly a trigger delay when you pull the trigger. Like we're talking maybe 1/4 of an inch, or 1/4 of a second. Nothing serious at all. Just, you know, with the Stihl, the gas powered, you pull it, it's there. With this one, I don't know if that's a side effect of the brushless motors. I've heard that it is, but it's like maybe 1/8 to 1/4 of a second delay from when you pull the trigger to when it starts. Again, just something you get used to, but something I noticed as I was going along. And one other, I mean, I really had to dig for some of these cons, some of these downsides to this. But so, you know, we have a little 4x8 aluminum trailer. We throw our 2 push mowers, our gas, our blower, and then I had a couple of gas-powered weed whippers just in case this guy didn't live up to the hype. So I left him out straight. I threw him in with the rest of the stuff. And the design of the finger trigger right here, it seems to catch on absolutely everything. So you'd want to have a specific spot to put it, because every time I went to pull it out, it was always catching on something. Again, none of these are huge, but these are the type of things I want to know when I go to buy something. So anyway, this is how she goes back together. Simple, flip it across, release the safety, pull it back, and you're good to go. This handle, I love this handle, big and heavy. I love the straight shaft design. I've been using, again, the low end Stihl, which is a little bit, it's got the curved shaft, doesn't get under things very well. I love how easy this is to get in and under things. This hinge is made out of steel. Well, I don't know really steel, but it feels like it is. It is absolutely sturdy. Again, I was so worried about buying one of these because I saw the early reviews of Gen 1 and they were just so floppy. I was surprised Dewalt would even put their name on those. And this right here, they solved that problem and then some. They say when you fold it down, it gets 40% shorter. So again, it fits in this box, so that gives you an idea of how much shorter it is. I love the hinge idea, but I was thinking, hey, it would be better if it was just a single piece. Absolutely not. This hinge takes all the worry out of it. When it snaps into place, that 2-lever connection with the safety, you got no worries. It is back together. So I love that. Something else that I never expected to even think about using on a weed whipper is the high-low setting. You know, with the Stihl, you've got that positive pull trigger where you can, it's variable speed, you can pick how fast you want to go, and it's cool. But with this guy, the high-low is right up here, and I found one of our biggest struggles is around vinyl siding. We're always getting in underneath, and if I get a new guy, there's always a chance he's going to take a chunk out of the siding. And you got to really feather that trigger and go really slow. But you know, I set that to low and tested it, and you could go right up against, I could pull that trigger wide open and go right up against vinyl siding, and it didn't do anything to it. I never thought I'd use it. I honestly, it has enough power on low for the most part of what you're doing. If you're going through some high, heavy, thick brush, use the high setting. I mean, I'm sure this would be great for that sort of thing. We're not going to take this out to the oil lease that we do that requires 3 hours of weed whipping. But this is great for around town doing small yards. That high-low setting is incredible. So, you know, something simple, but I absolutely loved it. So something that not everybody talks about, and I know that the battery technology is getting there and we love it, but there is so much good. With this, I don't have to carry an extra can of mixed gas. I don't have to wear hearing protection because it is so quiet. I don't have to suck in the fumes of the mixed gas, which is 10 times worse than regular gas. I don't have to worry about starting and stopping it every time we go from one house to another. And none of that incessant pulling on the pull cord to get it started that the Stihl seem to do after they heat up and it's a really warm day. I mean, these, I just love it. It does the trick, but just to eliminate all of those is great. I mean, even in the day we did it was plus 30 Celsius and we had no issues with it whatsoever. And another really cool thing, I know I mentioned the speed loading. This guy here is 50% faster at loading. I didn't think it was possible, but it's literally feed the string through and spin the head. It's that much faster than the Stihl, and the Stihl was fast to begin with. And like I said, we had nearly 12 lawns. I was all the way through my 11th lawn, made it just into the 12th lawn on a 5 amp hour battery. This guy's every bit as good as my low end Stihls. I love it. It has plenty of power. It's well balanced. If you wanted to get a 6 or 9 amp hour battery, it's gonna work. The brushless motor is great. I paid just over $200 Canadian for this, so I'm sure you could get it for $139, $149 USD somewhere. But anyway, for what it's worth, guys, this product gets the Toolman seal of approval. We're going to use it on a regular basis. We still keep the gas ones with us for backup for now, but I wouldn't mind getting a couple more of these, especially if I can figure out why it seems to be going through string as quick as it is. That's really the only serious flaw that I found with it so far. But if you guys are looking for something with a bit of heft, a lot better than your typical electric or battery powered Ryobis or Walmart jobbies, I had a buddy message me the other day and he was looking at something to do around a 2-acre property, and I was all over recommending this to him. I told him we had a video coming up. I said wait out for it, but if you're going to go get it, let me know because you're going to be happy with it. As far as, you know, homeowners in town, great. Even off grid options, acreages, that sort of thing, this is great for that because there's not many people that are going to go out and weed whip for more than a half hour to an hour straight. And if you have 2 5 amp hour batteries, you're good to go for a solid hour, easy, probably more than that. So for what it's worth, guys, I love this tool. If you want to see more of what we got, I've got some other great Dewalt tool reviews. We just did a pressure washer review. Stop down, subscribe to our channel. I appreciate it. We got a Money Making Minute video every Monday, a Growing Your Handyman Business video on Fridays, and a tool review video every Wednesday. So guys, stay happy, stay healthy, and have a great week.